Zerg versus Protoss. Superstar versus Superstar. Rogue versus Stats. The most elite StarCraft 2 players in the South Korean region stepped onto the AfreecaTV main stage for the GSL Season 2 Grand Finals. 2 months of RTS action came down to its final two. $25,000 and 900 Korean standing points were on the line. A king's reward for the player who could outwit the other in a best-of-7 series.
I don't think there's any unit that can directly address these Hydras with ease here. The Mutas, again, are still doing damage. The Archons are being chipped away at.
Yeah, look at this. His army is just being massacred at the moment. The Phoenix is fighting as best they can, hitting those Mutas really heavily, but not enough. GG is called. And Rogue...
Taking control of the Grand Finals in game number 1, Rogue claimed the map of Death Aura, flooding into Stats base for an 11.5-minute win. Stats knew what needed to be done in order to overthrow Rogue. Executing those strategies would be half the battle.
Rogue is scouted about 80%.
Returning to the map of Golden Wall, Stats began to mass his Phoenixes with a mission to take down Rogue's overlords, and in turn, his supply count, as fast as he could. With 4 fully functional bases at his disposal, Rogue answered back with an army of Hydralisks.
Charge is done, but Banes are done as well.
Yeah.
And notice the patience here with the Banes. He's not going to detonate them, until he knows he's going to be getting something with damage on it. And I think what seemed to be a pretty disastrous game here, Rogue just straight up smashes Stats. Like, this strategy is just not doable.
With raw numbers and perfect timing, Rogue put a second point on the board. Stats' early Phoenix play didn't pay off in the slightest, a lesson learned the hard way.
Goes ahead.
The dusty landscape of Eternal Empire would be the battleground for Game 3, as units were traded on both sides for intel. After a little bit of adept harassment, Colossi would be the crowned unit for Stats. A giant, long-ranged mechanical beacon of power that has the potential to wipe Rogue's bio-army in seconds when well-positioned. Rogue is extremely talented when it comes to reacting fast and began to implement a counter-strategy. The combination of Lurkers and Vipers joined Rogue's offensive. The Vipers picked off Stats' Colossi from afar, while his Lurkers focused them down, leaving Stats with no army in seconds.
Look at this, Rogue on 5 bases. You know, this is the tough thing about these Colossus builds. You gotta push them, because as soon as the Zerg has the counterattack, they really don't do anything.
Well, I think this is just too much. Even if you had perfect disruptor shots, there would be so many units here, they would wipe out everything else.
Another outstanding performance landed Rogue his 3rd win of the Grand Final Series. At this point of the tournament, Stats was starting to sweat. Rogue was confidently dominating, willing to finish off his run through the GSL Grand Finals on the map of Submarine.
Oh, there's so many mind games going on right now. Okay, luckily for Stats here, he does have that Prism, so ends up saving most of his units there.
The Lings begin to spill through, but instead they're going to go for this cybernetics core. That is going to completely halt all the tech in this game. Now it's around over here. The War Prism does pick up, but most of the ground units have nowhere safe to take cover from.
A solid defense by Stats ended up changing the pace of the game. Rogue's economy was not as fruitful as in the past 3 games due to the lack of expanding. With his initial attack thwarted, Rogue had very little to fend off the now looming Colossus threat coming his way.
Well, he's trying to maneuver here. Look, I mean, oh, that was not what he was looking for right there. Loses a couple Ravagers, 3 Ravagers go down. Another Ling counter, but that Colossus is not going to die.
Okay,
Stats had finally done it, landing his first win in the GSL Season 2 Grand Final. With his newfound confidence, a reverse sweep was in order for the Protoss player. and the map of Everdream was going to be the next war-torn battleground that he would take from Rogue. Not wanting to repeat history, Rogue expanded as early as possible, while Stats went all in on another early Stargate build.
What are you gonna go?
Rogue Zerglings were on the hunt, sent out to gather information on what Stats was planning. This is where things went horribly wrong for Stats. His only means of defense were sent across the map to scout. Committed to building aerial units, he left his base completely exposed. A very unfortunate time to do so, as 8 of Rogue's Zerglings came bouncing on through, leaping at the opportunity to take Stats down once and for all.
That's unfortunate, to say the least. And he's got Lings on top of those, so he's going to get this unpowered. His Oracle's not going to make.
Oh, man. GG.
In a speedy 3.5-minute Game 5, Rogue finished off Stats by going for the jugular, taking home the GSL Season 2 trophy and cementing himself as the best StarCraft 2 player in South Korea for another season. Congratulations, Rogue.
Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the amazing eSport content from around the gaming globe. Only on Unbeaten Esports.